Hi, this is Nana with Sew It Seams, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on a quick scrubbing sponge. This is made with cotton. In the inside, it has batting. On the outside, it has terry cloth on one side and scrubbing mesh on the other. Okay, so when we get done, this is what our sponge is going to look like. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 2 pieces of batting down. Okay, let's see. Then I'm going to put my layer of terry cloth. Then I'm going to put my layer of fabric. Okay. So to recap, we have 2 pieces of batting. We have a layer of terry cloth, okay? Then I'm going to put my layer of mesh netting. And then I'm going to put face down my pretty cotton fabric. Okay, so what we have, 2 layers of batting, a layer of terry cloth, a layer of mesh, and our pretty fabric facing the top. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pin and I'm just going to kind of pin in the middle just to keep all my pieces together. If you want to, you can use a walking foot, but I am using my heavy-duty Singer, so I know it handles many layers. So I'm going to put this right underneath my presser foot. I'm going to turn my machine on. Always when I get started, I like to pull my strings out from the back. And I'm taking a couple of stitches forward. And then I'm taking a couple of stitches back. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right, I want to make sure that I'm catching all of my layers. Okay, presser foot down. We're going to go do some back stitches, and then we're going forward. And I'm making sure that I'm catching all of my layers. Okay, when I get to the end, I'm keeping my needle down and I'm going to pivot around. Now I'm going across the bottom, still making sure that I'm catching my layers. Okay. Now I'm to the other side, needle down, pivot around. And the only thing I did was put one pin in the center. Okay. All right. Okay, so going to back stitch at the top, and I have left an end open for turning. Now, you can use regular scissors or you can use pinking shears. We want to make sure that all of our layers have gotten in here good. Okay, we have 2 layers of batting. We have a layer of terrycloth. We have a layer of fabric. And we have a layer of the netting, okay? So as you can see, I'm trimming my corners. And I'm just using regular scissors, and I'm getting rid of some of this bulk. Trimming all these layers. Now, when you do this project, you want to cut your pieces bigger than you want your sponge to actually be, because you're going to be trimming off some of it. Okay, so now I've trimmed all the way around, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in between the mesh and the terrycloth. So on one side I have the batting, on the other side I have the back side of my fabric, okay? So we're going between the terrycloth, and I'm just going to start working to turn this inside out. And it can be a little tricky, but just keep working with it, because the netting, it wants to get stuck on the terrycloth, but you just keep pushing it with your fingers and it will turn it all the way. See, it's turning it the way I need it to be. Oh, remember to take your pin out. Remember to take your pin out before you start turning. Okay. All right, and I'm going to get this turning tool, and I'm going to work on it some more, going in between the layers. Pushing those corners out. You want the corners to be nice. They can be a little rounded. That's okay. So this is what it's starting to look like. Terrycloth on the back. Fabric, and a pretty fabric in the scrubbing. Gonna make sure I've got it turned just like I need it to be. Okay, pushing my corners out. Okay, now I'm gonna turn my fabric under. You're going to have to work with it a little bit, but we're going to turn the fabric under at the top. See how I've got my fingers in here? And I'm turning it all under, because we want to have a nice seam. We want it to be nice and clean. So I'm pushing it down I'm folding it in. On one side, you've got the terry cloth and the batting. On the other side, you've got your fabric and your netting, okay? Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut my stitch length up to about 3.5. Okay. Gonna put my presser foot down. Let's see. This is another time when I need my hump jumper. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, that's my walking foot. Okay, give me just a minute. I'm going to see if I have a tool in here. And if not, then I know another way I can do it. Okay, it's not in there, but I got a lot of stuff in there. Okay, we got needles. Okay. Okay. That is the second time that I have needed that thing and have not found it. Okay. Okay, so I'm just checking to see if I can find my tool that I need. And I cannot find my tool. Okay. Oops. Okay, so since I can't find my tool, I'm going to make one. And what you want to do is, if you're going to be sewing something that's very thick, it helps if you raise up the back of your presser foot. So I'm putting some cardboard underneath the back of my presser foot. And I'm going to start by walking it a couple of stitches. And I'm also going to use my stiletto to help push the fabric. And that will help you get over the hump where I started. Okay, now I'm going to go backwards and forward. Okay. Needle down, presser foot up, and I pivoted my work. And this time, it's already even. So I just sew. Okay, needle down, presser foot up, turn your work. And now I'm at another end, the last end of my sponge. Go all the way over, needle down, presser foot up. Okay, now I'm going to take my sponge out. I'm going to trim my threads. Okay. And I'm going to top stitch around my sponge again. And this time I'm going close to the edge. So I put my presser foot down. Anytime you're sewing something thick, if you get a little something that's cardboard and put it under the back of your presser foot, that will help the back of the foot be even with the front, and it will help you if you're getting over a hump to sew. And it also helps if you stick like a stiletto to help move it, and it just gets you over that hump. And once you get over that first hump, then you're pretty much smooth sailing. Okay, so my presser foot, my needle's down, my presser foot's up, I'm spinning around, and again, just so you can see, I'm taking a little piece of cardboard and I'm putting it underneath my presser foot. And that is a little trick. Anytime you're sewing something thick, if you put a little bit of cardboard around the back of your presser foot, see, that will make your presser foot even, and that will help you as far as sewing thick material. And it also helps if you have something to help push your fabric to get it started. Okay. Now, before you do this, you might want to put a new needle in your machine. I put a new needle in my machine. Okay. Okay. Needle down. Okay. Okay, put a little bit, put my cardboard. Again, I'm lifting the back of that presser foot so it's even with the front. Now there's a tool, which I do have somewhere, and I'm going to have to locate it. It's called a hump jumper, and it's just a little plastic, and it looks like a little plastic hump, and it gets you over when you're sewing and you need to get over thick fabric. It gets you over it. Okay. I've done it. Stick my pedal. Come back here. Okay, there it is. Okay. And I'm going back and front. Okay, so this is what my finished sponge looks like. Now you can use, if you use white thread, you won't be able to see your thread at all. But I didn't care if I showed my thread. See my thread, it's dark blue. But then on the back, you can see it on the back. So if you use white thread, then you would be able to see the white on the front a little bit, but it wouldn't show on the back. But that's my sponge. That's my first one. And that's how I made it. Let me know if you have any questions.